What is up, everyone? Welcome to the video. Blacklight here, and today I'm going to be showing you my tweaked and new Kelvin build. Now, if you don't know what Kelvin does, this hero in Deadlock is ice-based. He can heal a lot. He can heal his teammates and himself a lot, and has the ability to do some high damage with his third ability, which basically is an ice beam that slows and does damage per second. His kit is vastly around sort of a nice edge of mobility into him being in the air if he wants, with locking down the opponents in his ultimate and healing himself at the same time. So his ability is his ability number one is basically a grenade. This can heal. The only thing we're really doing for this first ability is upgrading it so we can get the extra charge for it, which is really nice, so we can get 2 uses from it, and then we aren't really maxing it out until I would say either second last or last, to be honest with you, because the second ability is a kind of like an ice gliding wall that you go on, or like a path. So if I show you here, essentially I can go up and leave a trail of ice behind me. I can hold control and go down and shoot, and then use my abilities at the same time. It's really fun. It allows you to get on top of enemies and do our combo very well. And then our third ability is our main DPS ability, which allows us to focus in like an ice laser beam on our target. All this does is essentially has a huge length with an extra beam range as well. When we upgrade it, it reduces the cooldown, it gives us more damage per second, and then fires an additional 2 Arctic beams. It's really, really, really strong. I think it's one of the most underrated abilities in the game at the moment, and it looks like this. It's really, really good, and when we upgrade it, it actually goes on for longer, it does more damage, and can slow even more depending on your build. This is my build here. It's called Tank and Spank, and I'm absolutely loving it at the moment. The build is revolved around you being a tank, of course, in a sense, but dealing a huge amount of spirit damage with Spirit Lifesteal. Now, what is Spirit Lifesteal? Essentially, when you do a move that contains spirit, how do you know if it contains spirit? You can see that purple box there with the purple star. If you see a purple star in your ability section, you know that it is a spirit ability. So essentially, for our third ability, when we're casting it, and we are also getting health back and lifesteal back from using it as the Arctic beam goes on. Now, for our ulti, what does this do? This essentially traps people in. It's 2 uses, really. One for locking down an enemy you want to kill, and if you're getting really, really low, you want to use it to block out an ulti and heal yourself back up. For example, if 7 is ulti, he's another hero where he like rises up into the air and then electrocutes everywhere around him. If he was doing that here, I could literally go like this, block him out and heal myself, and I wouldn't cop any damage in here. And I can use it to lock down someone. So if they are really low, they're trying to get away, I can come in, do it, and then, you know, get them and they're dead. So that's the versatility of Kelvin in a nutshell. That's his his abilities, all his 4 abilities. Now let's talk about the build and what we are doing. So in the early game, we're really focusing and trying to understand whether we need to play passive in our lane, or we can go on a bit more of a snowbally item build and not go for extra regen. Now, in all honesty, I do love extra regen. It's a great early game item. It allows you to sit in lane more, and with Deadlock not having a teleport mechanic, only a zip line mechanic, I really love that it allows you to be in the lane and not have to go back to base and sort of farm up, do your jungle, and just be on the map at all times rather than in the base. Then we go into extra health. I just really like this because we are going tank in the early game. 160 bonus health does matter, and it gives us that extra weapon damage. Our weapon for Kelvin is not one of the best weapons. It contains 15 bullets, and it's kind of got a lead effect to it, so you have to lead the shot a bit. So you're going to see here, it sort of goes like this, and it's not exactly on hit. So we have to actually lead it a tiny bit in front of the opponent. So be wary of that. That's most probably Kelvin's downfall, is his weapon. And then we go into extra spirit. This is great. This is what sort of makes our third ability get stronger. It gives us a tiny bit of extra health and extra regen as well. And then it actually goes into an item that I need to add in called improved spirit, which we will add in. I don't know why I didn't add that in, but let's get that in there. Where's improved spirit? Am I blind? Oh, sorry, improved spirit is in the third section. So it's leading in, a lot of the items we have are scripting into other items. That's the way you want to do it. So as we can see here, the build, it's going extra spirit and then into improved spirit here. So this extra spirit item goes into improved spirit, and you can see here components extra spirit, and it's going to go from 8 spirit power to 21 spirit power to a bit more movement speed and a bit more health, but it's really there for the extra spirit power. That's what we want. I have mystic reach as well. This is a great item for spirit heroes that need that extra range. This is going to allow us to essentially hit people with our Arctic beam and our ultimate a bit further, and it goes into another component called improved reach, which you can get, you don't have to. I'm not really sold on it at the moment because I really love getting superior duration and superior cooldown. You can get it if you want. I mean, I can add it in there. It is improved reach, which is here, and we can add that to the build. But essentially what it will do, it's good for our third ability, because when we imbue the ability, our beam becomes has a much further rate. So you can see sort of if we do this, that's the range there. But if I go ahead and buy mystic reach and improved reach and hit our 3, we can put this on no cooldown. Very crazy. That's very crazy range. It's very nice, and if we get improved spirit with it, you know, we're doing more damage. And then on top of that, we go superior cooldown. Now, superior cooldown I'll usually use on my ultimate. Sorry, superior duration should actually, hold on. Superior duration, sorry, needs to be used on Arctic Beam, and then a superior cooldown we use on our ultimate. So what just basically happened, and what imbued is, imbued means you choose a certain ability out of your 4 abilities to imbue. So that 32% effect will go on the ability you choose. So what we're choosing is our ultimate to have a massive cooldown reduction, but our Arctic Beam to have a 32% more ability duration. So now look how much longer it lasts for. A lifetime. Absolutely crazy. So what's the combo that we're trying to do here? Essentially, what you really want to do is catch an enemy by surprise. You want to chuck your 1 and then just hit them with the beam. You can move around during this, so you're a harder target to hit, and this will do a huge amount of damage. If they're trying to get away, you can then lock them down again. We have duration, and then we're doing the same thing. And basically, it is an ice frenzy. It's very strong and amazing, to be honest, and fun. I think Kelvin by far is mostly in the top 5, if not top 3 of the most fun heroes you can play, and I really enjoy him. Now, what we can also buy is a weapon item called Soul Shredder Bullets. So this can work with our combo as well. So what Soul Shredder Bullets does is essentially it gives us the ability that when we shoot someone, we apply a debuff duration. Now, because of my items, it's giving me an even more a higher duration, but without them, it's giving me, I think from memory, 6 seconds. So what happens is when we shoot someone with the bullet, we apply a debuff that amplifies your spirit damage against the target and grants you spirit lifesteal against them. So our combo is not just coming in and doing the abilities. We want to surprise people, shoot them. As soon as we get that first shot on them, the debuff will be active. If you hit them again, it then does that debuff. So what we're doing is we essentially are flying in, hitting them. We can trap them in if we want first, and then do 1 and 3. But essentially what I would do is I would go, okay, I can see him. I'm going to shoot, come through, lock them in, 1, and then do that, and hopefully get a crazy amount of damage and a kill. Now, I do like saving my ulti for the scenario of me losing health, because a lot of the times people are going to react to ganks, you are going to get low, and you need that. So for me personally, I think holding your ulti is better than just locking someone down, unless you're guaranteed the kill. So we can essentially fly in, shoot 1, 3, and then do this, holding shift, getting higher, higher, higher. And then when the fight happens and hope maybe other people come, we are going to then use our ulti, because our ultimate heals us for a 190 health regen plus 197 depending on all your items. But I will show you, if we get everything here, superior duration will do for this, cooldown is for the ultimate, improved reach we can do as well. Reach we want to do for 3, and then we won't do this, we'll just do it with these late game items and forget about the spirit armor and bullet armor. We'll talk about that in a second. But essentially now my ultimate is doing 313 health regen per second. It's applying a 40% fire rate slow in it and a 35% movement slow. So this is crazy. So now our third ability is doing 256, I think it is, DPS per second. It's applying a slow, and our cooldowns are nuts. So let's say we use it. Look at our third ability, 2-second cooldown. It's wild. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. And then if we get the debuff on them, 1-3, look how slow they are. Where are you going? Nowhere. So it is really, really cool. Now I want to speak about bullet armor, spirit armor, and reactive barrier, and also healing booster. Healing booster is a very important item, because what this item does is allows us to actually get increased healing by 25%. So what's going to happen here is look at our healing now with healing booster. 391 plus 123. I think that's like 524. Could be incorrect on that, or 514, but that is insane. So healing booster is most probably one of the most important items for Kelvin, because not only does our ultimate heal ourselves, but it heals our allies in there. So if you're in a massive team fight, you're actually slowing the fire rate and movement of the enemies, but healing your teammates. And trust me, if you can do this in an ultimate prior to Dynamo, if anyone knows who Dynamo is, he's basically, his ultimate sucks in everyone. You can't use abilities, but if you can see a Dynamo come in and you can quickly go like that, you are going to negate everything that Dynamo does. It's crazy. You can also negate the 7 ulti. So there's so much versatility in Kelvin and how he can operate. So for healing booster, this is the item we're looking at getting first, always in the early to mid game after we get these. I really, really like extra stamina. This ability to me is just makes Kelvin feel a lot more nicer, because what we're getting here is basically with superior stamina. Let me get away from this shop. So we get 1 stamina and 10% stamina recovery plus 7% fire rate, which is nice because his gun is a bit meh. And then we also, with the superior stamina, get 3 stamina, which is basically when you see this little like semicircle of blocks, you can see we have 6. So that's really good. So we can do a lot more movement, a lot more sliding, and sort of go like this. A lot of stuff we can do and feel good about that. And then he has air, jump, dash, distance being plus 40%, more fire rate, and more spirit power. So he has the huge amount. Look at that jump distance. Like, that's crazy. That's really strong. So there's just so much mobility to him. If you're getting chased, you can sort of jump, dash, slide. There's so much you can do, and you can constantly do that. So that's really, really strong. Now, I would say that these 4 items are really necessary. I would mostly say that Soul Shredder isn't 100% necessary. Bullet armor, improved cooldown, duration extender, and healing booster are the items you definitely want in the mid game. Now, how do we know what someone is building? So if you can see with me here, we have 3 bars. These bars replicate weapon damage, vitality, and spirit. So what's going going to basically happen is when you press tab and you look at your enemy team, you're going to see how most of them build. Now, if their whole team has no purple, you don't need to build spirit armor. You're wasting money on this item. But if they have a multitude of orange and purple, that's when you're going to want to build spirit armor and bullet armor. A really nice item here is reactive barrier. I think this is a really cool item. Sometimes I think you can just go this over the spirit armor, and essentially what it does is it gives you a passive ability that it automatically deploys a temporary bullet and spirit shield when you are movement locked, stunned, chained, and immobilized or slept. As you play the game more, you're going to know what most of the heroes do. If there is a lot of this, I'd recommend buying reactive barrier because it actually helps a ton with just negating damage when these things happen. And if they don't have a lot of spirit armor, spirit damage, you can just go from this to this and it'll work for the bullet shield and also negating when you are CC locked. And then from there, we have the ultra late game. I think the most important item on this is Mystic Reverb and Boundless Spirit. If they have a huge amount of healing like Lady Geist and things like that, I don't know who else heals too much, but Leech is great because it gives you lifesteal, bullet steal, but it also reduces the effect of enemy applied healing, and that's really good. But Boundless Spirit to me and Mystic Reverb are great. You can also go for, I think there is one more if you did want. They're just super expensive. I love Boundless Spirit and Mystic Reverb, to be honest with you. In Vitality, you can look at something like Phantom Strike or Unstoppable if you want, if you really want to go more tank. I don't really like too many of these items beside Leech because they don't do a lot for me. I think Colossus would be your item that you want to go for if you really want to tank because it has an active that we can put down, for example, but then you're losing something here if you don't have a flex spot. But it can most really go on your flex spot. It's really good, and it gives you the ability to negate or have more bullet and spirit resist. But again, we are doing a spirit tank based build and spirit lifesteal, so this is where I'd lean to. Another good item just for if you do need it and you're versing someone is knockdown, but I don't like building it on here. I think the one item you could most really look at building is cold front. This slows more as well. I don't really like that it doesn't offer anything much besides that. I don't really like a lot of these, to be honest. I just like focusing on the spirit lifesteal damage and the tanking, and that is the build. This is tank and spank. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If there's something that you'll add to it, something that you'd subtract to it. Again, I'm not 100% sold on Soul Shredder bullets. Maybe that's a waste of some moolah, but I am trying it and liking it. Also, another great item is Healbane. Your spirit damage applies healing reduction, so if they do have a lot of healing, you can go Healbane into Leech. That'd be really good. But try it out, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have a go because Kelvin is absolutely fun. I'm really liking the build. It does a lot of work, and I'll be showing some gameplay of this build as well, so stay tuned for that. I'll catch you on the next one. I am Blacklight.